What's up, guys? I'm Kenya Horton. Welcome back to another training video. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my top tips on how to trade channels, especially if you are looking for an effective intraday or swing trade strategy. Can you believe I just said swing trade? For those who follow me or follow us, you'll know that I love scalping, but guys, can you believe that I'm gravitating to the longer time frames? I just have been getting some excellent returns on the longer time frames and absolutely love them. And I think that if you know what you're doing, you'll love them too. So let's go ahead and jump right into all about channel trading. Before we do, make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video, comment on this video as well, and check out the description and join our public Telegram where we share all types of great stuff every single day. So let's go ahead and jump right into channel trading. Now, guys, I want you to share with me in the comments of this video and tell me, do you currently trade channels? And if so, what are some of your strategies or tips that work for you, and what are some of your challenges? Because maybe we can, share some things that can help each other. I'm going to share with you my effective tips, but first I want to make sure that you understand how to trade channels and exactly what this is. All right. So what you're looking at is a rising channel on the daily time frame of GBP USD. Now, for those of you who are beginners, I'm going to show you exactly how I draw this channel really quickly. I'll get a little bit of elementary because I do care about all of you out there. So some people don't have mentors and coaches and things like that and really trying to find their way. So let's turn this to a line chart, and I can kind of see with my naked eye exactly, what trend this is in. But let's just go ahead and draw our channel, okay? So basically I just grabbed a trend line. Now you can use also, there's a option on here where you can do a parallel channel, or you can just do a simple trend line, click on it, and I'm using Trading View, and you can clone this and just bring it to the other side of your swings, your swing points. Now, how do you know if you have an effective channel drawn? All you have to do is change this back to a candles chart, and you'll see that you usually will have wicks going through your channel line, all right? That's how you know that you have an effective channel or trend line drawn. Now, what I like to do is you'll see here that this red zone here on my chart, this represents an area where I possibly would consider selling. I only put zones on my chart where I plan to make a trade decision. I don't like to put a lot of lines on my chart and indicators and all that kind of stuff. Now, a lot of you follow my KISS strategy. That's a lot different. I'm not talking about that right now. This is simple structured trading, and I'm just going to show you how I use channels, okay? And so these yellow target zones these are areas where I would plan to take profit depending on how long I want to hold the trade. Now, if you work full time and you can't, watch your charts all day long, or you don't have a lot of computer time, this is a great effective strategy that you can use, because you basically can look at the structure of the market and you can develop your bias on what you think price will do. You can set a entry price, take profit, and a stop loss, and be done with it, and just check on your trade from time to time. It's very, very easy to do, and I'm going to talk to you about how to do that with this. So first, let's just make sure that you understand what a channel is, okay? Maybe you do, but let's just go through it really quickly. So looking at my chart, you'll see here that I have, like I said, a rising trend, okay? How do I know I have a rising trend? Because price is making a form of higher lows and higher highs, and this is what we want to see in an uptrend, all right? We want to see a series of higher lows and higher highs, and we have that. So we have a valid uptrend, all right? And then if we were in a downtrend, we'd want to see the opposite. So if we grab a trend line over here, and if we just drop this over here, and let's say if we clone this, all you have to do is click on it in Trading View, this fourth icon from the right, click on that, click clone, bring this down to your previous swings there. And in a falling channel, we want to see a series of lower highs and lower lows. This would define your downtrend, okay? Lower highs and lower lows. So high, low, all right? Now, I love channels because I feel like they give us some very good advantages, and I'll show you one of them in particular. So one of the advantages that I love about trading channels is that if we move over here, I feel like it gives us better guidance for entry and exit points. Like if you notice, price is pretty much respecting this channel resistance line here. You see that? Okay, and it's also respecting this channel support line here. So in a rising channel, we want to trade with the trend, and in a falling channel, we also want to trade with the trend. You're going to get better results in doing that. But I actually entered this particular trade for a sale, and I'm going to tell you why later. Another advantage that we have to trading channels is that it gives us, I feel, it gives us a better prediction for future trading. And also you'll see here, for example, let's say if we had some selling pressure come in on this channel, and let's say, you know, we have a lot of selling pressure and price finally breaks through this channel. Well, when that happens, that gives us a strong reversal signal that when price breaks out of the channel, that the direction of the trend is possibly changing, okay? And that's really helpful because it signals to us that we possibly need to change our bias and start thinking the opposite direction. So that's one of the advantages that I do like about trading channels. Now, you're gonna have to keep in mind that when you're trading long positions, ideally you wanna be trading with the trend and you want to enter off of the lower channel line, which would be right here, all right? That's where you would want your entry to be. Now, had you entered this particular trade off of this support channel line and you held it on the daily, you could have gotten over 200 pips. And this is why I love the longer time frames, the bigger time frames, and finding these type of moves, because you're going to find that number one, they're easily predictable. Number two, it's not a lot of noise. So I feel like it doesn't cloud our judgment. It's much more easier to trade, and you can just kind of see the overall direction of where price is going. And you can just get a better trading opportunity. When you're thinking about your entry and just putting together an overall strategy, let's say if you wanted to put a strategy together using this, number one, you're going to want to understand your Forex basics. But number two, pick a time frame. So I like the daily and the weekly time frame. Although I'm not holding trades for a week, I just like the bigger picture of what's going on. But if you look at the daily, this would be a great time frame to trade, especially if you don't have a lot of computer time and you're looking for more of an intraday type swing trade strategy where you're going to be in the trade maybe a couple hours. And you have two things that you can do. When you're in front of the computer, you can monitor the trade, and if you possibly see where price is going, you can react off of it in real time. Now, if you don't have that time, let's say, for example, if I was looking at this chart and I see that, wow, we've had some pretty strong impulsive moves here in this channel, and I see that price is reaching a major reversal zone, also the top of the channel, and I'm looking for possible rejection, I could set a limit order here. I could say, you know what? I think price will probably come to about this 2,800 level or even 2,790. So I'm going to put a limit, a sell limit order here, and I am going to put my stop loss away from structure. So when I say away from structure, I'm basically talking about previous swing highs or swing lows. You do not want your stop loss within this zone, especially with GBP pairs, because they tend to wick pretty aggressively. So you could get prematurely stopped out. So you can either cut your losses very early and have a tight stop loss and be okay with that, or you can use proper risk management, keep your lot positions very low and widen your stop loss so that it is away from structure. So maybe about a 40, 50 pip stop loss. If you don't want to use that wide of a lot size, you just have to cut your losses earlier. Those are basically your options, okay? But everyone is different at managing risks, and I respect how others do that. You have to find what is best for you. I particularly entered this trade this morning because I saw that price was reaching the top of the channel. Previously, price was in this zone on June 24th of 2019. And what did it do? It rejected off of this zone or this area. Previously, before that, we also had previous rejection within this zone. And before that, this was an area of previous support, which also became an area of resistance. So I'm looking for possible rejection within this zone. And you'll see just by me highlighting this zone here, this is a pretty important zone because price served as previous support and resistance multiple times. It came to this area, respected it, eventually broke through it, came back, retested it, okay? bounced off of it, came back, tested it again. So you get my drift, right? So that serves as a very strong area of trading opportunity. And we basically want to see, okay, hey, we have one form of entry criteria. We're at the top of the channel, all right? Two, we have some wick rejection in this valid zone that has served as a strong area of support and resistance in the past. Three could be a candle signal entry that you have. So you might have a trigger where you're using candlestick analysis. So this is basically how you would put together your strategy, and you can keep it very, very simple, okay? So you basically pick your time frame, you determine your risk, you determine your entry criteria and your exit criteria. Now, how do you decide where to take profit? For me, I like to trade zone to zone. So if I turn this to a line chart, I basically want to take profit in areas where, you know, price, like I said, price has served as previous support and resistance. So if I only want to hold this for maybe about 50 pips, which I know I could get very easily on GBP USD, I might probably have my take profit right around this level here, which about 25.25, or I might move it up a little bit to about right there, 25.72 or so. Or I actually have my take profit on this trade right now at 26.60. So somewhere around right up in here. And I did 2 positions today, and I actually have already closed one, which I'll share with you. But I just want to show you how I manage this really quickly and give you some ideas. And I think that that will help you out a lot. So I trade with a couple $1,000s in my account. I do trade more than one account, and you can decide what is best for you. But I'm just going to show you exactly what I do. So with GPP pairs, or the more volatile pairs, I do not use aggressive lot sizes. I like to break up my lot sizes and keep it pretty low and be wise with it. So I also scalp. So all these above trades are scalps, but I want you to pay attention to the very last position on GBP USD. So I got in here at 27.62. This was during the New York session, and it was within the sell zone, but I knew that price could continue to push up a bit. So I usually will trigger a second position when price, it depends on the pair that I'm trading, but GBP in particular, I follow a particular strategy when I trade this pair. And if price pushes about 40 to 50 pips, I will have a second position re-entry, okay? Sometimes 30, but usually about 40 to 50 pips is my re-entry on a GBP pair, especially if I'm at a rejection zone or a monthly high or a daily high or something like that, or a daily low. So I took profit at about 39 pips, okay? And I re-entered. I want to show you where I re-entered. So I re-entered within this zone of 27.90, which I have highlighted right here where this red zone is. And the reason why I entered there was because I saw, so now I know GBP can do something like this. Let's just keep it real. GBP does not really respect channels. This thing will do whatever it wants to do. It moves like 200 miles per hour, and I know that. But I normally do not trade GBP unless it has moved at least 100 pips in the day. So I like to trade a lot of corrections, impulse move correction, and I do like to trade with the trend, of course, but I'm very good at trading corrections. So I know that price is just not going to keep shooting up. It has to eventually correct, balance out. And also, I just know that it's going to start coming down. That's the bias that I formed. So looking at this, and I saw wick rejection, I saw that I'm also in a major reversal zone. Price had already shot up over 100 pips today. I knew that I had a better chance of getting in because more than likely, more traders were probably stuck down here because they sold too early. All right. So that's how I do it. So in summary, let's just kind of talk about this. I'll give you some tips, but also just remember, when you're looking at channel lines or channel trading, you're just looking at a type of support and resistance. And you basically want to trade with the trend when you have a rising channel or a falling channel, and you can determine your entry. Now, I particularly like entering for buys at the very, like, as close to the trend line as possible. And I also like doing that for my sells because I find that I am able to limit my risk a lot better. So imagine me entering here versus entering down here, especially on the daily. That's a big move, okay? So with your risk, you can either cut your risk, you can, cut your losses very, very early and look for a re-entry opportunity, or you can widen your stop loss and say, hey, I'm only willing to risk 40 to 50 pips in order to make 150 pips, on this trade. And I have confidence that I can do that, especially from the area that I'm trading from. So those are pretty much some options for you. Guys, I hope that by sharing this example, that this just kind of gives you an idea of how to trade channels and, how you can approach your trading strategy, whether you're doing intraday or swing trading. Comment on this video and let me know if this was helpful. If you have questions, I'll be happy to share them, but make sure you connect in our public Telegram, because we share tons of daily, resources, strategy, coaching, all that stuff that I think you would really enjoy. And especially no matter if you're a beginner or where you are in your journey, we'd love to connect with you. So thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next training video, and God bless you.